Am I good?
Looks good.
Yeah?
Yeah?
All
All right,
right.
cool.
So 3, 2, 1,
Go.
let's go. I'm not ready for this.
You're fine.
Am I?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good, man. So this is Mega Man 04. We're just going to cut straight to the chase. This stage has not that much interesting going on in it. I'm just going to say very quickly, he's going to grab a bomb, which he's going to toss to the boss later on to speed it up. With that out of the way, I just want to talk about some main things about this game, and that is, this is a very random game. There is a lot of randomness in this. Like, bosses love to stall. There are part drops that we have to collect, and the run can just go all over the place because of that. Also, here we're going to see some of that bomb that I mentioned earlier. Also, the other thing is X skills. That's going to be a very important part of this run. Yeah.
All right, that was the intro.
Yeah, nice job.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid intro.
Didn't die. It's a good start.
So yeah, the 04 is quite the beast of a game where casually, it's fairly straightforward. Like, I'm sure most people who played it didn't find it too difficult compared to the other three, but as a speed run, it's a complete monster. Like, bosses, like, they just like to just waste time doing their own thing, do damage you a lot. Part drops, they just might not want to show up when they want to. Even though you can manipulate a reasonable amount of them, some of them you can't.
Yeah, we're going to be crafting one part. There's a bunch of different things you can craft, but a lot of them aren't really worth it as far as RTA goes.
Yeah.
So we're going to be only making one, and we'll be manipulating 3 out of the 4 drops. So we have to rely on luck to get the last one.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll be going into Area 0 here, which is kind of like just another intro stage, more or less. But New's going to need to be manipulating 2 out of the 4 parts he needs for double jump in this stage. So his movement needs to be very precise. RNG, the way it works in this game, is that it's set to a fixed index at the start of the stage, and then your movement in the stage affects it based on things like how many enemies you kill, whether you're dash jumping in water or not, whether you're kicking off walls. So New's trying to move as precisely and consistently as possible here in order to force 2 drops at the end of this stage.
There's a couple different ways you can do this, but this is like the easiest and most consistent.
Yeah, pretty much everyone has come up with their own way of doing this.
There's 1.
Yeah.
And there's 2. Nice job.
There's the 2 parts.
2 out of 4.
Okay, so the boss here is the giant robot. If you've played Mega Man X2, this guy might look a little familiar. He's sort of the same, but he has some different looking attacks. This boss is fairly straightforward, though. There's no luck involved. You're going to be seeing New just combo him with the Z-Knuckle hits into the triple slash, because that's pretty much all we've got at this point.
Yeah, both a charge slash and a charge knuckle do the exact same damage, so from a DPS perspective, you're better off just doing that. He's going to come down. Got him.
Nice.
It's a bit sloppy, but got him in the end.
So yeah, every attack in the game has their own priority level. So for example, you can combo a charge attack into a triple slash, but you can't do, say, a triple slash into a charge attack. And X skills, another important factor of this game, those can be comboed into as well, and those also have their own priority levels. In fact, we saw the 03 run earlier this year. It's a similar concept. Although X skills do not require a certain rank to get obtained in this game. All you need is to set the weather to hard. If you set the weather to hard, then you're guaranteed to get the X skill at the end of the stage, regardless of your rank. However, there are still instances where we are going to go into a stage in easy weather just because, 1, we don't need the X skill, and 2, easy weather might just be faster for that particular stage. So starting off, we're going to Popla, just because his X skill Time Stopper has a rather interesting glitch you can do with it, which we're going to use on a couple of mini-bosses later.
Yep, and New did set the stage to hard weather here, which is going to affect both the terrain and also the boss's pattern.
Yeah, like there'd normally be snow here, but now there isn't. And for this first part of the stage here, there's this block cycle that New's trying to reach. He does have quite a bit of leeway reaching it. He can actually waste a few seconds and still get it just fine. Oh, nice spike jump.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you bring it to the cycle, these blocks will be, yeah, he got the cycle. So those blocks would be at the top of the ceiling if he got the cycle.
That jump is as hard as it looks. Well, it's not really hard, but it's dangerous.
It's deceptively kind of easy to die to.
Yeah.
So coming up here is the Tower of Buttons. Depending on where you finish off the mini-boss determines which path in the stage you'll take next. In the case of this run here, it doesn't matter which path you take, but taking the bottom path requires less damage boost. So for safety reasons, we're going to go the bottom path. Also, this bottom path is full of a certain enemy I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. Oh, Mets. Nice Met drop.
Well, thanks. It's totally manipulated.
Oh yeah, going back to RNG, certain factors like certain like special effects can also cause it to change every frame. Like that tower falling apart is now causing RNG to change every single frame. So
yeah. So anything in this half of the stage is completely unmanipulatable.
yeah, and on topic of RNG, if you saw the 0-3 run earlier this year, you probably might have noted that if you skip a cutscene, it resets the RNG. Well, 0-4 patched that by making it so that when you skip a cutscene, the RNG value is set to the value of the stage timer, effectively making any sort of manipulation impossible. So coming up on Popla here, same concept as before, just charge Knuckle into triple. We don't want him to time stop us, and wow, he cooperated great there.
Great fight.
So if Popla wants you to die, he will kill you. You don't really get a choice in it. It's the same thing with the next boss, but extremely more so.
Yeah. Yeah, because Popla, he can just time stop you. He can do it multiple times, in fact.
And shoot eggs and just
jump to the center of the screen, freeze time.
yeah, it's not a fun time.
Yep. So next up, we're going to be going to Mandrago and then Gemblem. These two stages are next in the route because these are going to give us our bread and butter EX skills, the up slash and then the down slash, in the opposite order that I set them. So Mandrago here, this stage, it has some cool gimmicks to it. There's like some vines and a lot of sort of like fauna that we're going to have to go through. These vines here, you can take them out pretty easily using the Knuckle. If you just tap Knuckle, it'll tear a vine away. And then these little sprout things here can also be knuckled and punched away.
Yeah. I try to use Knuckle as much as possible because it doesn't have hit lag like the Saber does.
Yeah, so he's going to be switching to Buster and Time Stop here. So coming up is a mid-boss that has 96 HP, which is about 1.5 times what the bosses have. But since this mid-boss doesn't have iframes, you can do something called damage stacking, where he's tossing the Buster shot and then intercepting it at the same time with a charged saber. So he's hitting the boss at the same time. And if he does that very precisely, then it'll deal damage on every frame, and it'll just shred the boss.
There's, I guess Currybon could explain a bit better.
Yeah.
Oh, about how damage stacking works?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what Orsa said. It's just if two different attacks intercept on the same frame, then they do continuous damage. Which in this case, a charged saber does 7 damage, so every frame you're doing 7 damage to that mini-boss. And that little section there, it is technically faster to take the bottom path, but only if you're a TAS. Like, you need to go really, really fast to get through that optimally, so you're just better off taking the top path. So coming up on this boss here, Mandrago loves to spin, and whenever she spins, it wastes a ton of time. If she goes into the ground, it's not too big of a deal. You can just simply triple slash her, then pull her out. And since there's a spin there. And since this is set to hard weather, she's also heals in between attacks. And that was actually not a bad fight, all things considered.
Pretty above average.
So coming up here, we have Heat Gemblem, which he has the up slash, and this is also where we're getting our next 2 parts for the double jump. The first one we can manipulate fairly easily, the Genga gun. In fact, it's a very straightforward manipulation. All you do is just kill an enemy, and then you kill his turret guy, and then triple slash the Genga gun, and there's your part. It's the part after that we kind of need to worry about, and well...
Our boy Fatal.
We all made a gentleman's agreement here where each failed drop, we'd all donate $1 to charity.
Yep. This drop is 1 in 8, which is not the worst odds in the world. But
Huge quotation marks.
yeah. Certainly not ideal.
My record is like 46. So.
But we also saw one not too long ago, did we?
Yeah.
Also, coming up on this mini-boss here, I'm sure any of us playing this casually remember this thing taking forever to die. And there's a good reason for that. This thing has 128 HP. Just to get a comparison to how much HP that is twice as much as a regular boss. But thanks to damage stacking, that's not a non-issue. So that little cylinder thing you see there, that's a fatal. Yep.
Well,
oh my god! First try!
Well,
sorry, Charity.
yeah, sorry.
Sorry, Charity.
Yeah, so the reason this one isn't manipulatable is because of this big particle beam here. This thing changes RNG every frame that it's on the screen. So you can actually manipulate it, but it's a little bit slower and involves a death abuse. So.
And you take a ton of damage in the process, too. Yeah, like that fatal you just passed there, that's where you grind off it. But instead, we can just move along. So coming up on Gemblem here, before we complain that this was one of the worst bosses in the game, although there's a kind of a little combo you can do when he does this little spinny laser attack, where if you do a charge into a down stab, you can take him out fairly quickly before the attack even ends, in fact. And this is a decent pattern to get, because you still get damage off him. Okay, so yeah, here's the spinning thing
Kind of
here.
messed it up a bit.
So an important thing to keep in mind here is that the laser does much more damage than the flames, so you want to damage boost off his flames.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Nice guy.
Yeah, really good fight.
Gotta remember to actually craft the part.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yep, we've got all 4 parts for double jump now, so just a quick trip to Servo and we'll be able to craft it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is kind of a tense part of the run because you gotta do this in Japanese. I think that was a double jump. I can't read Japanese.
Well,
Yep, that was a double
All
jump.
right, nice. Okay, so now we can just double jump. It's great. It comes in handy pretty much everywhere.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of awkward platforming in this game, and the double jump just eliminates a good chunk of that. So coming up on Fenry here. His stage is interesting where you can either go in with either good or bad weather. And in this case, we're just going to go in with good weather to get an extra X skill. It's not too necessary to get, but it does have some like niche uses you can use for it. And bottom path is, in this case, faster than taking the top path. And coming up here on this mini boss, you can't really damage stack him, so we kind of have to go for a different strat where we need to wiggle with a charge saber, with punching him in between charge times.
Yep, this guy, each side has no iframes, so if you just use a charge saber and sort of just wiggle in and out of his hitbox, it'll just keep hitting him over and over.
Whoops. There we go.
Yeah, that's a good fight.
Pretty good. Yep. Pretty good.
Yeah, coming up on this elevator here. You can damage boost your way up, but
Oh,
it's...
whoops. Hit the button.
That guy is a champion.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on for the rest of the stage, so I guess we'll just quickly talk about the boss. Fenry isn't too difficult because you have the up slash, which does fire elemental damage, meaning that he'll take 10 damage to it instead of a normal 7. So you can beat him fairly quickly, and that's I guess another thing to mention is that unlike 0, 1 through 3, where you can change the properties of your X attacks by changing your element, you cannot do that in this game. It is fixed for each X skill, which in most cases is not really a good thing because that means that it's effectively useless against a few bosses. And that was a really good Fenry.
Yeah, really nice pattern. All right, so that's 4 Mudos down. In between, there's actually 2 sort of mid stages that we're going to be going to. The first one is we're going to the Area 0 settlement again. In this case, it's being attacked by enemies, so we're going to have to save some villagers, and then we're going to have to fight everyone's favorite boss.
Your favorite boss.
Yeah,
Everyone but New's favorite boss.
Yeah, Commander Craft, aka Commander KD.
Guys have weird taste.
So yeah, the settlement stage itself is fairly bare bones. It's like you do a bit of platforming and then you're just rescuing guys at the very end. So I'll just quickly go over the craft fight, which even though casually you're probably going to get absolutely destroyed by him your first time, and in a speed run he can do the exact same thing to you, just like in casually. The difference is that you can do the same to him. You can deal tons of damage if you're very familiar with his attacks, to the point where it's like you'll have to fight over within a matter of seconds. So yeah, there's not much going on here, so this would be like a great time for donations.
Sure thing. We have $50 from Van and Caden, who says, Mega Man is kind of a big deal around our house, so my son and I are loving this block. Many thanks to the GDQ staff for their efforts putting on such a fun event for such wonderful causes. And good luck to all of the runners. Also, Junior says, save those critters. We have $25 from Gamium, who says, neighbor leaned off the balcony yelling, saw your GDQ bumper sticker, Mega Man 9 is on. Hello from all of us in Colorado.
All right, so it's time for craft. I hope I win.
Hopefully. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's just craft.
Yeah, so you can see right off the bat here, this guy is super fast. He has a ton of different attacks that all do a fair bit of damage.
Oh, nice dodge. Yeah, that attack there where he has that little chainsaw thing, that's the scariest one. That can do more than half your health.
Yeah, it effectively combos you, so like it knocks you all the way across the screen and continuously deals damage while you're being hit by it.
Oh my god. The 1 HP, man.
Close.
Sure, okay again. Let's see how it is.
He's a spooky boss, so
Yeah.
at least you get to go in with both your charges, so.
Yeah.
A general strat to deal with Craft is that his explosives are more deadly than he is, so you want to use your saber as kind of like a defense. What is he doing? All right, he's done. So yeah, the basic strategy for Craft is you want to use your saber as like a defense mechanism, because his explosives are more scary than he is. Because if you let his explosives go off, then you're not going to have much stage control.
Yeah.
So you want to hit the explosives first, and then you want to attack him.
The real big thing is the bayonet, because if you get hit by it, you lose like half your HP, especially for like across the other side of the screen.
And, although one nice thing is that if you do have a sub-tank in handy, you can pause mid-attack.
It's not like instant damage, it's gradual.
Yep.
Although sometimes it just kills you anyway.
Yeah. Also, contrary to popular belief, you cannot wiggle out of it.
Yeah, shout out to the Mega Man Wiki for being wrong.
Yeah, so this second intro stage, this is like a prison break stage. There's some lore involved here, but the idea is that we're breaking into this prison, we're going to fight a big robot, and then we're going to get out. This big robot here is actually another Mega Man X reference. This guy's very similar to the intro boss from X3. But it's a fairly straightforward fight. It's pretty much just a charged hit and then up, down, and avoid his punches.
Yeah, although some of his punches will cause debris to fall from the ceiling, and you can tell where the debris is going to fall by looking at like these little particle effects that fall from the ceiling. He's also rather loud.
Yes.
He's very loud.
Oh.
The 1 HP. Still a good fight.
Nice, yeah, very good.
So the stage is not over yet. We still got another part to it.
Yeah.
Because right now they're blocking the transporter thingy, so we got to get out ourselves.
If this stage has some damage boost involved in it, there's like some defense mechanisms that get activated, like some wooden gates that come down. You're supposed to stand on top of the button to deactivate them like that, but since we've got the health, we can take some damage boost and save a little bit of time here.
Not want to take that one.
Yeah.
That's always just tends to watch. Like it's always close. So for here, you're just dashing along. If you're just feeling lazy, you can just hop behind the boulder and just follow it, but we got to go fast. Yep. Also, shout-outs to the variant of champions at the end here.
Yeah. That guy's killed me a number of times. More than 4.
So coming up next, there's not too many X skills left we have to get. So
just one, I think.
Yeah, we're just going to be getting Krakens, which is the Ice Javelin. So what we're going to do is we're just going to finish off one more boss, which does not need the Ice Javelin, and we're just going to go from what we're just going to do whatever at that point. Just do stages in order that does least amount of pauses.
Pretty much.
And we also enter Titanium stage with easy weather because in easy weather the heat meter goes up less.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see a little heat meter at the top of the screen here, which rises the longer you're in the heat. And in hard weather, it goes up super fast. Like it's like you're just constantly having to wait for it to go down. But in easy weather, you get a lot more time. Right here, New just got an axe, which is, believe it or not, stronger than a charge slash.
Okay.
The platforming here can be a bit awkward, by the way.
Yeah, there's a couple glitches with double jumps.
Yeah, there's wall jumping in the Zero games is kind of interesting, where you don't need to be touching a wall to wall jump off it. You just need to be within like a certain pixel length of it. So if you're in that pixel length, your wall jump. What? Oh my God! All those drops.
Yeah, I have one drop from
nice.
like all of them drop it. It's weird.
Yeah.
So if you're too close to a wall and you're not actually touching it, it won't give you back your wall jump. So that can kind of cause a couple of problematic parts in this stage and some other parts of the game.
Yeah, the axe is easily the best knuckle weapon in the game. Unfortunately, it only pops up in like 3 stages. So.
Yeah, we only use it twice, even though. Yeah. So we'll see it again, but not for quite a while.
Yeah, so coming up here on Titanium, it's just simple axe into a down stab. And since we have the weather set to easy, that does give us a bit more flexibility in our combos. You might want to watch out for that flame.
Yeah. Should have listened.
Yeah, since Titanium's fire type, she takes reduced damage from the up slash, which is also fire type. So there's really no reason to use it. It's just axe and the saber. That's about it.
Yeah. If you're feeling well, really lucky, you can do it. You can triple slash her when she does the bomb attack, but it's horribly inconsistent because she has to do that attack.
She just done that from the start. I would have much preferred that.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're at B rank, so that's a good thing. Because that's another thing, is that you want to be at B rank throughout the run, because then the bosses don't do their X skill, or at least not the main 8. The main 8 do their X skill based on weather, while the other bosses will do it based on your rank. And
Yeah.
most bosses, their X skill, they just like to waste time.
You eventually end up losing enough points due to skipping the mission points that you end up getting B rank regardless. But yeah.
So this stage here as well, it's you go through this maze. It's not
Past the fish.
you got past the. The fish likes to just randomly block you. Well, it's not random. It's more that if you kind of move awkwardly to that part, he'll just be blocking the path. Yeah, this part here, it's just a simple maze. And then after that, we got to fight another dragon, which we're just going to damage stack him, and then a long staircase.
Close one. You only have 2 minutes left.
Yeah. Nice.
Only when you don't go behind him.
Yep. Bye.
So yeah, this staircase, there's not that much to say about it.
It's a staircase.
It's a
Yep.
staircase.
It's a deceptively hard staircase.
Yep. Yeah, you can time stop some of these enemies, like the big purple things you're going to see in a bit. Not these ones, but coming up. That thing, you can time stop and just go right through it. But yeah, other than that, there's not really much to this part. Which leads up to Kraken, and he's a simple just charge up, down. Although there is one attack where he'll go into the background and start trying to poke you from there. Though if you use the Knuckle, you can pull him out from the background and start attacking him again.
Yeah, but we're not on Knuckles, so if he does that, we have to switch to it.
Yeah.
Nice pattern.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that was really good.
You're getting just some nuts patterns today.
Yeah, like Kraft rolling 6 times in a row. That was
Okay,
pretty nuts.
besides from Kraft.
That was pretty nuts.
All right, so the next stage is a stage. We're going to be going to Pegasulti Eclair next. And not only is the stage a little awkward in its design, but the boss is incredibly awkward in its design.
I respect Pegasus.
Yeah.
He is not our boy, by the way.
Yeah. We're also going to be going into the stage with Easy Weather. Pegasulta's EX skill is the dash attack that you might have seen in 0-3. Unfortunately, it's heavily nerfed in this game, so it's not worth getting, especially since the hard weather creates wind, which is constantly pushing you back.
It's really depressing to see his EX skill, so compared to the Z3 one.
Yeah.
Z3, you just shred through stuff. It's great.
Oops.
Yeah, so there's lots of like up and down blocks here, like L-shaped things, and it's a little awkward to platform through.
Yeah, the double jump helps a bit. Also, these
are the worst enemies in the whole game.
Their position is random each time, so sometimes they'll block you, sometimes they don't.
Also, we have another one of these. In case you missed the last 2.
Yeah, this is the last one, thankfully, but
It's an Eggman game. You got to recycle the mini bosses.
and this is probably the easiest one too.
I'm
since
blind.
his major attack doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, it's just more kind of wonky platforming coming up. Although there's this weird enemy here. That enemy there that new just went past.
Yeah.
In the last part of the stage, for some reason that we don't know why, it just spawns at random parts of the stage.
Yeah.
Like that one there, like okay,
That could be there, or it could be up here, or it could be
Right
wherever.
Yeah, like that thing that new passed may not have been there the last time he played this and all that.
Yeah, it likes to clone itself too sometimes, just, whatever it's feeling like today.
So coming up on this boss, he's a gigantic jerk because he likes to dodge your attacks and he likes to throw you in the pits. And whenever he dodges you, he laughs at you and just stay in the middle.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay, you had to play it safe, but yeah.
Yeah. I think I would have died if I got hit by that electric.
Yeah, it does 4 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might have noticed there that Ice Javelin's actually pretty good, even though it's a little awkward to use on Pegasulta. The reason it's so good is because it can combo into itself depending on where you place it. So if you place like the bullet part of it that spawns the actual Javelin like inside the boss, then it'll combo and hit him like up to 3 times, I think, which is really, really good.
It's really hard to do on Pegasus, but on Mino it's really free.
Yeah, because he's so big. And this is also the only stage in the game where we enter on hard weather, but don't use the X skill. And the reason for that is because of the low gravity. Like this stage becomes much faster when you got this. You can just double jump for days.
I think I might grab the 1-up.
Yeah, there's an axe here. We could get it, but unfortunately we need Buster on the boss, so it's not super helpful.
Yeah, and then coming up on this part here is this little magnetic polarity part, where right now he's blue, so he has less gravity on the red spaces, but he has more on the blue ones.
Grab this real quick.
Good call.
Yep. Yeah, and we're coming up on another mini-boss. Same strategy as before. We're just going to damage stack him. Although this guy's a bit tricky to damage stack due to his awkward positioning on the ceiling.
Yeah, and his size kind of looks a little bit weird.
Decent, good fight.
Yeah.
It's better than average, I guess.
So yeah, this next part of the stage is completely trivialized by the double jump and low gravity.
Yeah, this is why we do it on hard.
Yeah, this is apparently hard weather, which I'm not really sure how that works out.
I think the only thing that has changed between, like, in terms of actual difficulty is that in the part before the mini-boss, there's, those platforms don't generate electricity on easy. So that's the only, like, actual thing on the easy weather that makes it easier. Because, well, we just skipped a stage by doing that.
Yeah, good stage.
Yeah.
Yep.
So coming up on the boss here, pretty much what Orsa said earlier. Yeah, we have to listen to that first. Also, Mino has a really awkward quirk with his hitbox where if you hit him from behind, his hitbox will actually temporarily reverse. And there's Ice Javelin.
Yep. Yeah, for context, I think Kuribon said earlier that it does 15 total damage if you hit all parts with it.
Yeah, 15.
And Mino has 64 HP, so that's basically 25% of his health.
Yeah.
So yeah, right now we defeated the 8 guys, and we're going to find out in the lore right here that those 8 guys were just a ruse. And it turns out that Dr. Whale was, he was just sitting up in space with his giant laser. He wants to aim it at Area 0 because he wants everyone to live in Neo Arcadia under his reign. Because he just wants to just fire a laser at it, wail on the Earth, and call it a day. However, it turns out that Kraft is up there, and he just wants to just aim this laser at Dr. Whale instead.
Yeah. Well,
And as you know, he just wants to harpoon this whale, so...
Kraft is like an actual idiot. So.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that the place that he's aiming at is full of people, so we
Yeah.
gotta go stop him.
Yeah, he doesn't act too smart in this game, ever.
I mean, you saw him roll around like 6
Yeah.
times in a row. Kind of gotta wonder what's going through his head.
Just practice his smash, man. So this stage here is,
Oh boy.
this is the #1 reason we get double jump. Because in the second half of the stage, we gotta go over Pit Central. And without the double jump, it's extremely slow. Also, coming up here is a really neat use of the Ice Javelin.
Yep. Such a good weapon.
Yep.
I hope the platforms are.
Yeah, the
You know, in a
platforms.
good mood.
Yeah, the platforms are on a global cycle. However, sometimes they'll just decide to do their own thing, and we don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess serious time for a bit.
Okay, they're in the right spot. So.
All right, we safely made it through. And coming up is our rematch against Commander KD himself.
Yeah, this fight is pretty much the same as the other one. There's 2 major differences. One, you have Knuckle here instead of Buster, so you can use that. Second, he has 1 additional attack where he swoops and does like a big laser attack.
Yeah, in the first fight, he only does that when you're at A or higher. Well, in this one, he does it, it doesn't matter if you're at A, because he has a new attack, which he does at A, where he blows up the room. And
Yeah.
that was not a bad fight.
He really tried to stay alive there at the end. Tried his hardest.
So yeah, Dr. Whale, we don't know where he is right now.
He's dead.
Yeah, he must be dead.
Totally dead.
Yeah. They shot a giant laser at him.
Yeah, nobody can survive that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Right?
Yeah, so this next stage that's coming up after the cutscene is pretty good. Kuribon, do you want to explain this stage?
Yeah, this upcoming stage, it's kind of got an interesting gimmick where there are 4 different buttons you have to press, and they're at 4 different parts of the stage. But you start in the center part of the stage, so you go to one section of the stage, you go up it, hit the button, go back to the center part, and you keep doing that for each part of the stage.
The stage is actually pretty fun. Probably my favorite stage in the game. The boss, on the other hand.
Yeah, we'll get to him when we get to him.
Yeah.
Just for clarification, this boss has random in his name.
Yeah, we're
So-
not kidding.
So you know you got a good boss when his name has random in it. So starting off here, we're going to go the top path because we want to kind of just move around in the center part as little as we can, and top path means that we do that the least amount. So those guys can sometimes snipe you, and sometimes a pain. these doors here are kind of weird after you hit the button, where if you land on them immediately, you won't go through them, so you kind of have to stall a bit.
So yeah, I do like a little setup for each door, so get into it as soon as possible. Whoops. No health.
So coming up here, after New goes through this section here, he's going to grab a Genga gun, which is that part we got earlier for the double jump. And when you have a Genga gun on your Z-knuckle, you can use this drill thing, which just so happens that is good for drilling through these blocks we'll use in the bottom path. So this really long, tedious section, which would take, I don't know, like 1 to 2 minutes normally, it goes by in about like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Also, this side here is by far the most dangerous.
Yeah, because the lava's instant kill.
Yeah, the lava's instant kill, and then like everything around the lava does 4 or 8 damage. It's pretty awful.
Although you can hit the debris that falls out of the chutes.
Yeah.
So he's going to grab the Genga gun here. Nice drop.
Nice drop. Thanks. Man.
So we're going to see him just skip this long, tedious section in an instant.
Yeah, so you're intended here, there's like some little bomb tellies that are floating around, I think.
Hopefully you won't see them.
Yeah, you're intended to like be shooting them at the debris to break it, like one by one by one, but instead just drill it all at once.
Yeah, and this last section doesn't have too much in it. It has some frogs, which kind of resemble Burble Heckalot from 02.
Shout out to Trogdor.
Yeah, shout out to Trogdor.
Yeah.
Locked in someone's basement right now.
We miss you, Trog. So yeah, there's not going to be too much going on until the boss, so you want to talk about him now?
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the boss, New, or should I?
Yeah, so he can do 2 different attacks when the fight starts. One you can one-cycle him during, and the other you can get like just under half his HP down. So you can obviously guess which one we want. Yeah, and then in between each cycles, he also does an extra attack. And that's also random. He has one of 2, one of which is longer than the other. So, you know, barrel of fun.
Yeah, basically what we're looking for here is he's going to pop up on the center of the screen, and we want him to stay where he is and start shooting attacks in like a spiral pattern. If he starts bouncing around the room at all, that's bad. That's not what we want.
He even laughs at you whenever he gives you a bad pattern.
Yep. There it is.
That's not good.
You never want to see this. Because now we got to sit through this. And this is like costs like, I don't know, like 20 seconds.
Whoops. Whoops.
All right, now we have another try.
Yeah, he's not cooperating today.
Do that.
So yeah, there's just nothing you can do about this. You kind of just have to accept your fate. Watch, he's going to do it now. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think he can do the same attack 3 times in a row.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's...
His name's Random Bandom. Shoutouts to X1
And X5.
and X5. Boss is never good. Should learn to stop.
So coming up here is the infamous Cyberspace.
Yeah, this stage is super scary. There's not a whole lot of randomness to this stage. It's just a lot of global cycles, a lot of things that deal a lot of damage, and just some fairly awkward platforming here at the start.
This boss is my worst enemy.
Yeah, Cyball.
Strong rivalry. He's winning though.
Yeah, so here at the start, we're going to have these little electric guys. This electricity deals a ton of damage, so you want to make sure you don't touch it, if at all possible.
No. Okay.
I think you live with 1 HP if someone hits you.
Yeah.
Also, that Met there is a champion.
Yeah, that Met has also killed me several times.
Okay, so here's the halfway point. Right after this, there's going to be some platforms that are moving in like circles. These guys also start at the start of the stage, so if you want to catch a consistent platform, you need to basically be pretty consistent from the start of the stage.
This is so stressful to watch. So glad you're past that.
I'm not past the hardest part. So
Oh right, we got this.
I'm gonna teal if I need to. I don't
Yeah,
care.
go for it.
Go for it. Yeah, Cyball, he is one of the more consistent bosses because this attack here he does every single time. It is possible to kill him before he finishes it, but it's very precise to do. So
Pop that real quick.
you'll generally see him do an extra attack or two. So
Yeah, what he does here is random. He can choose from one of a couple different attacks.
all right, he's gone.
Bye-bye.
So yeah, we're coming up on the final stage. As it turns out, Dr. Whale is in fact still alive.
Who would have guessed?
So we got to go up. So we got to go up into space and wail on him.
So yeah, in typical traditional Mega Man style, you can probably guess what's in this final stage. It is the refight.
Yeah, it's,
All 8 idiots piled into one room.
yeah, it's gonna be a little while before we reach Dr. Whale. So
Yeah.
what?
Stop it. Yeah, so every single boss that was, you know, random and cost you some time throughout the stages, well, they're all back. And they're also all on hard weather, which means they can probably cost you even a little bit more time.
Yeah, even though I'm B rank, because we're fighting them in their hard weather version, they can still do their EX attacks. So for the most part, it doesn't really like change anything except for Titanion and Pegastolta. Pegastolta is the big one because we have weather pushing us like left and right now. But the rest of them are mostly the same. So you can probably get off a couple donations now if you want.
Sure thing. We have $50 from Kresnik who says, "Hey there, GDQ. Had to make sure I donate during News Run to bring in the TF2 support. Thanks to GDQ for putting on such great events every year and giving people great entertainment for a good cause."
Thanks, Kresnik. Also, don't mind the fact that I almost died there. That was not close at all.
Not even close.
It's totally fine. Sorry, you can go ahead.
Okay. We have $50 from Zeno Rockbell, who says, "Been watching for 2 years now and just had to donate during the Mega Man block right before my favorite game, 04. Oh, and I know exactly what I'm fighting for, and that is saving Meryl."
So yeah, that was an example of Popla just freezing you.
Yep.
Popla is still as dangerous. If he wants you dead, he will actually just kill you.
Yeah, no time stop, thankfully, but yeah.
So we got Turtle Guy here. We're gonna hope that he decides to not dodge us. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that's another good gamble pattern.
You okay? I should probably be filling on my sub tank, I guess.
Okay, we have $150 from Danny171, who says, "I love watching SGDQ with my friend Ryan. It's great helping a wonderful cause, too."
Not what I wanted to do.
Here's an
Here he
example.
goes.
So that's an example of pulling him back out once he goes into hiding.
Yeah. A lot of people don't actually know you can pull them out, but yeah, there you go, you can.
So how many spins?
0.
That's bold.
Oh, it's looking like 0 so far. He was right.
Thank you.
No problem, buddy.
Whoops.
So this is the refight with Titanian.
Yeah, we don't have access time, so it's a little bit different, but it's mostly the same still.
Also, we're in hard weather, so you see just how fast that temperature meter's going up now. Like, it's really scary.
Whoops. Oh.
That's the spirit bomb.
I'm surprised to hit. So yeah, if there was any that I was very likely to die on, it would be this one.
Nobody's boy.
I've been chucked into a pit by this guy more times than I can count.
Yeah.
Because his weather pushing us back and forth now.
Yeah, he also has access to his EX skill now, which is like a big dash across the screen while he's invincible. Hopefully we won't be seeing it.
I mean, he's doing something right now. I don't know.
What is he doing?
Oh
my god.
What a champion, dude.
He tried.
I respect him,
yeah.
man. He tries.
So we just got Mino left.
Everybody's boy, Mino.
Yeah.
Shoutouts to voice acting.
Oh,
Oh, the grab.
what a legend.
Oh, here's
Oh,
This attack is something else.
I'm just gonna do this
Good call.
real quick. Don't mind me. Yeah, so when he grabs you, you get like junk put on you and you can't jump as high.
and he can pull you towards you. But you can stop the attack with a nice javelin.
Yeah.
Is that 3 fights?
Yep.
So we're on to the final boss now. Who wants to take this one?
Go for it, Kurban.
So we're moving on to Dr. Wheel here. He's kind of like all the other bosses where he can either die pretty quickly if he gives you the right attack, or he'll waste a ton of time.
Stairs are hard.
Yeah, they sure are.
Especially when they got spikes everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, a little note here, he's going to grab another axe.
Our boy the axe.
So yeah, with Dr. Wheel here, he can either throw rocks at you, which you want him to do because that gives you a lot of opportunities to hit him, or he can go into the background and just start shooting little...
Cactinks?
Yeah, he'll summon the Z3 bosses, and you don't want to see that. Well, except for one Z3 boss, that is.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna curse me. Whoops.
Oh, this is another attack you want
This
to see
is
him do.
okay. Yeah. This heals him.
Well, he's
Nice.
actually
That's-
cooperating
Yeah,
with
that's
Royal
That's
crazy
pretty
good.
good.
This
So-
is the final fight, by the way, so time is coming up as soon as this boss runs out of health.
You want him to fire his laser. That's what you want to see.
That did not hit him.
Oh, there's his laser. There's lots of damage opportunity here. You take a ton of damage, but you deal a ton to him.
And he doesn't have a sub-tank.
Oh. Stalling. Oh, that's time.
Time.
Oh, 48.
Really good, yeah, 48.
Pretty good.
That was good for a marathon setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty happy with that. So my final time is... That was actually really good. 3 fights in stage. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, not bad.
All right, well, that was 0-4.
Oh,
Yeah.
So, yeah, shouts to Drogdor, probably still in the basement of someone's house.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here, but not quite yet, so.
yeah. Also, shoutouts to the Zero community. It's a small community, but full of great people.
Yeah. So, I guess that's it for us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for that run, New. And we have some nice sponsor ads for you, so just sit tight.
What's the plan?
Go straight for the bomb here.
Assault with long range.
If we can get crossfire in the arcade, we can actually take it.
Don't stand that close to the.
That
was me. That was me. That was
How
me.
did that happen?
I'm aware it was you.
Here, watch this.
Yeah. Okay, Vince, are you covering me?
Kind of.
Alright, I got him.
South by window. South by window. He's lit.
Oh my god, we did it! Yeah, we did it!
Raj of the Garage is the largest Japanese arcade event in America, hosted by Tokyo Attack, featuring 24-hour gaming, over 100 import arcade machines, more than 18 tournaments, and a casual fighting game room. Raj of the Garage is an event you aren't going to want to miss. Find more info at rajotg.com. And we have a bunch of donations. We have one from Mr. Sunshine who says, a poem. Here's $20 for Mike on the Mic. With all these fast games, it's a mega hype night. Announcer's choice is the one that feels right. What else could I choose with Mike on the Mic? We have $375 from Kirby Volt who says, hello, KV here. I've come an unnews official disciple of the mysterious Lord Donator. Let's go for charity. Money goes to Dragon Quest III file name for Donator. You are all doing great. So that man mixed in, or woman as the case may be, had mixed in 2 donation incentives. There's a Dragon Warrior 3 slime ending, which is currently at $6,142.11 out of $7,500, and that will be tomorrow at noon. So it still has a bit of a ways to go. And that was for the Skyward Sword Choose the File name, and right now Donator is not winning. Right now my dude is winning at $2,373.80. And don't worry, we haven't forgotten about the animals. Right now, Save the Animals still winning at $14,902.50, but Kill the Animals is just on its heels at $14,776.41. If you want to check out all the donation goals and bid wars, you can go to gamesdonequick.com/tracker/bids/SGDQ2018. If you want more general information about the event, you can just go to gamesdonequick.com. Speaking of that, for those of you just joining us, this is Summer Games Done Quick 2018, and we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF. They are a medical humanitarian organization working in more than 60 countries around the world. MSF is a private international association that provides assistance to populations in distress, to victims of natural or man-made disasters, and to victims of armed conflict. They do it so irrespective of race, religion, creed, or political convictions. You can find out more at doctorswithoutborders.org. Odd Craig X donates $50 and says, Lord Donator demands I donate to Doctors Without Borders, and so I shall, for I'm a faithful pawn in a greater scheme. We have $250 from 3 in the morning, sending positive feelings and money. We have $25 from Ulith, who says, I love watching GDQ, and I'm so thankful for everyone that puts in their time and effort to make this happen and raise money for such a good cause. Good luck to all of the runners, and let's save those animals. We have $50 from Blazing Chaos, who says, I love GDQ, and it makes it that much more enjoyable to donate to a great cause. We have $10 from Young Create, who says, have you guys heard of a thing called Twitch Prime? If you haven't, you should hear about it. Keep up the great work, guys. Run on. And speaking of Twitch Prime, all sub revenue during this event goes towards Doctors Without Borders. We have $25 from Joseph Krumpach, who says, I'm always excited for the GDQs every year, and I look forward to the Mega Man block more than anything else. Let the Blue Bomber show what the other game blocks what hype is really like. And we are going to have a nice little interview for the Tomb Raider block featuring Scent Studio and Bexkey93.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2018. My name is Sent, and I'm joined here by two of our wonderful Tomb Raider runners. We have Studio and Bexkey. Studio, Bexkey, how are you guys doing today?
Doing okay. It's my second run of the day, so I'm a little relaxed already.
That's good to hear. You know, Studio, let's just get right into it since you brought it up. You actually had a run a little bit earlier today. You played Monolith for the stream, correct?
Yes, it's a little indie roguelite where you pilot an incredibly cute spaceship, blow up bosses. It took like 10 minutes. It was a pretty good run.
It was a pretty amazing. If you guys missed it, it looked fast and fun, but we got to be real here, Studio. It didn't quite end the way you wanted, right?
I killed the boss and didn't die, so it actually is quite the way I wanted. It's like you're leading to a question here, son.
Well, you know, you might get what I'm poking at here.
Yeah, which is I did not die, and previously last year at SGDQ 2017 I did Bleed 2 on a difficulty that was arcade hard mode, which is if you die, the run has to be reset from a story mode file, and you lose your timing, lose your progress, and you feel bad. And I was actually really concerned that I was going to die at the end of Monolith. I'd be like King Chokemaster Studio of speedrun fame, just like unable to finish a run and just like forever live in shame. I also dropped a giant F-bomb last year when I died, which was, I'm very not proud of it, but it was also really funny, so I don't know how to feel.
Understandable. I mean, how does it kind of feel, though, Studio, to have that kind of redemption? Like you mentioned, last year didn't go so well. This year, you know, Monolith went pretty all right, and you know, you have another run in the marathon even to improve on that.
And I'm hoping I don't die. It's like right now I'm batting like, okay, look at the past year, I'm like 50-50. It's still an F, but it's not a bad F. It's an okay F. It's like if I get Tomb Raider down without choking, I'm now at a D, so it's like trying to work my way up.
I mean, a 75 is like a mid C.
2 out of 3 is not 75.
All right, well, I can't do math, apparently. Speaking of how people are feeling, you know, Bexkey, this is your first run at a GDQ, if I'm correct, right? You know, how are you feeling? How is it, I guess, you know, as someone who's watched the events now here for the first time, running for the first time, how does it feel to be here in person, you know?
It's great. I've had a great time so far. I'm pretty nervous for my run, I'm not gonna lie. Tomb Raider's a little bit sketchy, I'd say, like it's pretty easy to die. But I think it'll go okay. I'm pretty excited.
Well, that's good. And I mean, I can tell you from firsthand experience, I think just about everyone's nervous for their run, especially their first time. So, I mean, getting into the games, both of you guys are running Tomb Raider. Right after this interview, we're going to have the X2 incentive. I believe that's Buster only. Super excited for that. But then after that, Studio is going to be running Rise of the Tomb Raider, and Bexkey will be running Original Tomb Raider, any % glitched.
Yeah.
So, any % glitched. Like, what kind of different categories for Tomb Raider are there, and what separates glitched from, say, just a regular any %?
Well, there's glitched and glitchless.
Okay.
So glitchless, you don't abuse any of the like wall bugs or anything like that. Because in glitch, you can just like jump through walls and glitch up, platforms and stuff. So you don't do that in glitchless. Very not dev intended. But yeah, it's quite an interesting run. Some of the glitches are pretty interesting.
You know, it's funny you mentioned rolling through walls, because rolling through walls is, for whatever reason, kind of a common theme in the Tomb Raider series. Is Rise of the Tomb Raider series. We're going to see you doing all kinds of crazy
not to
stuff,
spoil
right?
anything, but there might be a bug or two in the run. Just like maybe.
just one or two.
1 or 2 bugs, you say?
I like to believe that this is actually the dev intended route, and they just put a bunch of superfluous stuff to distract people.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense when you get down to it. So, I mean, honestly, when I think Tomb Raider, I really don't think like a hilariously buggy game capable of these glitch speedruns. What like draws you guys to want to run a game like Tomb Raider?
Well, for me, it's not that it's buggy. It's actually like I really liked Rise of the Tomb Raider. Like I hadn't seen the speedrun when I played it. I'm like, this is a cool game. I've heard good things about it. I'm gonna play it. Played it. Went, that was fun. Let's look at the speedrun. Oh my God, it's an hour. And at that point, I looked at the run. It looked awesome. I was like, okay, I need to learn this, not because like I think it's gonna be it was a buggy game. I need to abuse those bugs, but because it was a normal game for me. I had fun. And it's like, now I want to take it to the next level. Let's see what it's like when I just deconstruct it and break it as much as possible.
Gotcha. And just as a quick follow-up question, I mean, is that a method you tend to take to multiple speedruns? Like, is that how you got into Monolith and some of the other games I've seen you run, like Bleed?
Yeah, so like that's my basis. Is just like if it's a good game and it's a good speedrun, it's going to be fun going from one to the other. Unless there's like some like horrible tech that's really unfun to do, or if it's a bad speedrun, then may not pick it up even if I really like the game.
Gotcha, for sure. I mean, the one thing I always tell people who ask how to get into speedrunning is just, find a game you love and go with it. Becky, same question to you. I know we were talking a little bit before the interview, and you mentioned you actually started as a Resident Evil speedrunner with some of the classic tank control games, and you found yourself another one in Tomb Raider.
I just love tank controls. Yeah.
I guess so.
I mean, I started Tomb Raider, I wanted a bit of a change from Resident Evil, really, and Tomb Raider seemed like a bit more of a challenge. One of my favorite childhood games as well. So yeah, and when I started learning it, I just loved it. A lot of really fun glitches, of course, and the jump sequences are really fun to learn. It's a nice game to learn as well because you can do it level by level. So yeah, that's what got me into it.
Gotcha. That's super interesting. We're actually going to take a couple of questions from Twitter right now. As a reminder, guys, before these interviews, we actually tweet out a little seed question, for you guys to respond to with some of your questions for these interviewers. And if you reply to that, your questions might be read live on the air. So we have one from Asura Irate. At Studio, Big Honkin' Burger, at Bexkey. By the way, Studio's Twitter handle is Big Honkin' Burger. We don't know what it means. You don't want to know what it means.
I am the Big Honkin' Burger brand. I need to stay on my Berg-based brand.
To get to the question, though, Studio, what's your favorite part of the game and least favorite, both in the sense of speedrunning and casual play?
All right, so favorite part of speedrunning would probably be just the first 2 minutes of the game. I don't want to go into spoilers, but a lot of fun stuff happens really quickly, and it kind of sets the whole tone for the game. Least favorite would be there's a few sequences where there's 3 or 4 minutes without any checkpoint, without any safety. So there, it's not so much that it's like I hate this part of the game, but it's if I mess up, I'm going to get punished for it horribly.
Gotcha.
Casually, probably the first bear fight. It's like the sequence where Laura will get into a fight with a bear, and you have to come back later after building up and figuring out how to actually take this guy out. It's like a long involved sequence. It gets you into all exploration the rest of the game. Least favorite, I think might be the ending, just because it's a lot of combat, and I played that game really stealthily and as sneakily as possible. It's like, all right, now I'm killing people. But Shadow the Tomb Raider looks like it's gonna be more focused on that, which if they build it for it, could be fun.
Awesome. Bexy, same question to you.
I can think of my least favorite parts of the run. There are some glitches that have really, really long setups. And again, it's really punishing if you fail them. So there's a couple in the Colosseum level and Tomb of Tehokan where I'm hoping I don't mess them up because they will, it will take some time to fix them. But my favorite levels are there's a level called Obelisk of Carmoon, I think, and that level is very technical but very fun. There's a lot of glitches and skips in that level that I really enjoy doing, so that's probably one of my favorite levels.
All right, that's good. We have a question here from Malfunction. Angelina Jolie Lara Croft or Alicia Vikander Lara Croft? Which one?
Jolie.
I think Jolie's the fun answer.
I gotta agree with you, honestly. I think I'm on Jolie.
I don't think it's one of those there's a right answer to this and there's a fun answer. I'm gonna go for what's.
No, I mean the follow-up is, did you enjoy either of the Tomb Raider movies?
I haven't seen them.
All right, fair answer.
I really liked them when I was a kid. I haven't seen them as an adult, so I can't really comment. I haven't seen the new movie yet, but I want to. So.
I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I actually haven't seen either of them.
No.
I've heard the new one was.
It was
watchable.
actually like
The Jolie ones
the
were very
best video
cheesy.
game movie is what I've heard. That it's
Sure.
Yeah.
which like it's a low bar
It's
to beat,
kind of.
but they beat.
I got to agree with that. It's not the highest bar. Anyway, one last question. It's incredibly important. It is from Gary G. James, Studio. Becky, why are tank controls the only controls? Like, let's be real. No other control schemes matter, right?
I don't play the game that has tank controls. So I don't really have a strong answer to that question.
I'm the tank controls queen.
I'm gonna pass it to Bexy.
I don't know. I grew up, like I say, I grew up playing a lot of Resident Evil. Tank controls, fixed camera angles, and Tomb Raider. It's just very natural to me. So yeah, I guess that's why.
All right. Well, you know what? Studio, Becky, thank you guys so much for being here for this interview. It was wonderful to get to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I've been sent. This is King Joke Master and Becky93. And wait a minute. What's that? What's that sound? Commissioner Uyama.
Prize Man, we need your help.
I'm on my way. Thank you for the interview, wonderful citizens. Prize Man away. Prize Man here. And I've come to save all of you from not knowing about some amazing prizes we have going on right now. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you guys might have seen them rotating around the tracker, but the Mega Man X2 run is going to be your last chance to get your donations in for some of the amazing prizes we have going on in the near future. First off, we have this wonderful Mega Man sliding perler, courtesy of Nicholas Franklin. It comes with its own stand. Look at it. You can put it up, you can put it somewhere, you can put it off to the side. We're going to put it off to the side as we get out of the way for something that is truly amazing. Now, from our good friend JSTOR, we have an absolutely beautiful Splash Woman statue, and I need to be incredibly careful as I pick this up. Now, let's just get some close-ups on this. This is amazing. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. This is a handcrafted, one-of-a-kind statue of Splash Woman with her trident on a wave. $40 minimum donation. You got to get those donations in during Mega Man X2 if you want to have a chance to win her. This took, I believe, according to the creator, Jace, over 100, maybe 200 man-hours. It is absolutely gorgeous. The level of detail in her scales, in the waves, in the trident, it is beautiful. It is one of a kind, and your only chance to win it is with a $40 donation during that X2 run. So guys, I mean, get on it. I've been sent. Thank you all so much. We're going to throw it back up to our good friend, Commissioner Uyama, in the front as we get ready for that X2 Buster-only run. Let's go.
Thank you, Prize Man, for your valuable contribution to GDQ Society. We have $50 from Natalie34, who says, this is for the immortality of Lord Donator. And it turns out we are ready for Mega Man X2 Buster Only with Darren.